So we're going to do everything we did in example 2 and then just take it all the way and solve it. So the first half of this is going to look exactly like what we just did. So let's take a look at the solution here. So again, the first thing you would do is try to isolate the quadratic and the linear term. So we subtract 3 to both sides. Then you got to figure out what completes the square. So you take the 2, divide it by 2 and get 1, and square 1 and you get 1. So I'm adding 1 to both sides. All right. Then this can factor into x minus 1 squared. Take a square root of both sides. The number on the other side is negative. So when you take a square root of negative 2, you're going to get plus or minus I root 2. And that's okay. It just means the solution is imaginary. Then you're going to add 1 to both sides. And you get that x is equal to 1 plus or minus I square root 2. Right? And understand that means there's two solutions, right? One is plus. One of them is 1 plus I root 2, and one of them is 1 minus I root 2. Okay? So we got two examples over here. Why don't I think I'm going to work out the first one for you, and then you can try the second one. So start with, I'm just going to flip it around. So my x's are on the right, on the left side, on the correct side. You have x squared plus 4x plus 8. First thing I'm going to do is subtract that 8 to the other side. So now I have x squared plus 4x is equal to negative 8. Now what completes the square? So take that 4 divided by 2, you get 2, square it, and you get 4. So I'm adding 4 to both sides. All right, so now you got x squared plus 4x plus 4 is equal to negative 4. This can now get factored into x plus 2 squared. And that's equal to negative 4. Now I can take a square root of both sides. And you get x plus 2. And that's equal to square root of negative 4 is going to be plus or minus 2i. Right, because square root of 4 is 2. And then the fact that it's negative is why it's imaginary, and then it is plus or minus. Then you're just going to subtract 2 to both sides, and you get x is equal to negative 2 plus or minus 2i. If you wanted to split that up into negative 2 plus 2i and negative 2 minus 2i, you could do that. I'm going to leave it as the plus or minus statement, just to recognize that it is two solutions. All right, why don't you pause it and try part B, and then we'll come back and check. All right, so let's take a look. The first thing I did was I subtracted 17 to both sides. Then I figured out what completes the square. So I took 8, divided it by 2, got 4, squared 4, and got 16. So I added 16 to both sides. I have x squared minus 8x plus 16 is equal to negative 1. I factored x squared minus 8x plus 16 into x minus 4 squared. Then I took a square root of both sides and got x minus 4 is equal to plus or minus I. So square root of negative 1 is just I, right? And then it is plus or minus. Then I added 4 to both sides, and you end up with 4 plus or minus I. So again, it's 4 plus I or 4 minus I, if you wanted to separate it out. But I'm okay with writing it like that. I imagine on the practices where it's probably going to want you to separate them with a comma, just to give you an idea. But it means the same thing. All right, let's take a look at the next example.